Let's talk about something that could completely change the way we live online, our digital identity. We're going to take a deep dive into a system called Linkspreed UID and see how its brand new version is designed to let you, finally, reclaim your digital self.
But first, let me just ask you this. Seriously think about it for a second. All your accounts, your profiles, your private data, everything that's scattered all over the internet, who actually owns that? Is it you? Or is it really just a handful of giant companies?
You know, this is the fundamental battle for our digital lives right now. Over here, you've got the internet we all use today, Web 2. Our identities are fragmented all over the place, they're vulnerable to attack, and let's be honest, they're owned by corporations. But the vision for the next web, Web 4, is the complete opposite. Unified, totally secure, and, this is the key, owned by you.
Okay, so let's dig into that Web 2 problem a little deeper. What is it about our current setup that's so fundamentally broken when it comes to who we are online?
Well, it really boils down to a few big things. First, we've basically just handed over the keys to our personal data to big tech companies. Second, our identity is chopped up into a million pieces. A login for your email, another for social media, another for shopping. And all that fragmentation, it makes us incredibly vulnerable. If one of those companies gets hacked, a piece of you is exposed. The bottom line is, we don't actually hold the keys to our own digital kingdom. Third parties do.
So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, this brings us to this whole new philosophy of the next web and this powerful idea of digital sovereignty.
And the centerpiece of this whole thing is the UIID. I know, the name, Universal Integrated Identity Decoupler, is a mouthful, but the concept behind it is actually pretty simple, and it's incredibly powerful. Think of it as a decentralized system that gives you your own personal data vault, putting you back in complete control. The way it works is really clever. It's a two-tiered system. The first layer is your core ID. This is the vault itself. It's your secure, private master identity. This is the thing you protect at all costs. And you only use it for super important high-trust interactions, like dealing with your bank or the government. Now for everything else, all the day-to-day stuff, you use the second layer, aliases. You can think of these like disposable masks. You can create as many as you want for signing up for forums, social media, whatever. And the crucial part is, each alias is completely disconnected or decoupled from your core ID. So, if a website using one of your aliases gets breached, no problem. Your core identity is still perfectly safe inside the vault. So how does all this privacy magic actually work? Well, it's powered by some seriously cool cryptography called zero-knowledge proofs. This tech lets you prove something is true about yourself without ever revealing the sensitive data behind it. So, for example, you can prove to a website that you're over 18 without ever showing them your actual birth date. It's an absolute game changer for privacy.
Okay, so that's the big idea. It's an awesome concept for sure. But what just happened that takes this from a cool idea and turns it into a practical, usable reality right now? That would be the v1.2 breakthrough.
Mark this date down, November 9th, 2025. That's the day Linkspreed released version 1.2. And this wasn't just some minor update with bug fixes. No, this was a genuine turning point that completely removed the biggest obstacles to getting this into everyone's hands. This massive update really stands on three core pillars: a totally fresh user experience, getting rid of mandatory identity checks, and a new partnership that gives it true global scale.
First up, the user experience. You know, it doesn't matter how brilliant a piece of tech is if it's impossible to use, right? The new design is all about giving you that tangible feeling of being in control. Managing your vault, creating aliases, deciding what to share, it's all clean, intuitive, and visually makes sense now. This is absolutely key to making self-sovereign identity a thing for everybody, not just for the tech nerds.
The second pillar, honestly, this might be the biggest philosophical shift of them all. They got rid of KYC. That stands for Know Your Customer, and it's that annoying process where you have to upload your driver's license or passport to prove who you are. The old versions of UIID required it, but in v1.2, that requirement is completely gone. You see, the old system was stuck in this weird paradox. The source material nails it with this quote. The paradoxical dilemma was, to become decentralized, one first had to centrally verify. It was this fundamental contradiction, right? To build a system about giving power back to the user, you first had to go through a centralized corporate checkpoint. It never sat right.
So by ditching KYC, they solved that paradox. And the implications are just huge. It means you can have true anonymity if you want it. It makes the system accessible to anyone on Earth because you're no longer limited by what kind of ID your country issues. And finally, it makes the entire system consistent with its own core principles. It's a massive win.
So an easy-to-use system that actually respects your privacy is amazing. But can it handle, the entire world trying to use it at once? That brings us to pillar number 3, scale. Through a really smart partnership with Cloudflare, the UIID network can now operate at a massive global level and stay protected from attacks.
And this partnership brings 2 critical things to the table. First, massive scaling. We're talking about the ability to handle billions of requests with super low latency, which means it's fast enough for anything you want to do. And second, unrivaled protection. Cloudflare acts like a giant shield, protecting the network from the kinds of attacks that could bring it down. It makes the whole system both fast and tough as nails.
So a great user experience, no more KYC, and the power to scale globally. What does all this tech actually mean for you in your day-to-day online life? What does this new digital reality feel like? Well, let's just look at some simple real-world examples. Logging into a random forum? The old way was creating another username and password that could just get leaked in the next hack. The new way? You use a disposable alias that reveals absolutely nothing about your real identity. How about verifying your age? You used to upload a picture of your ID. Now you use a zero-knowledge proof that just says, yes, this person is over 18, without ever sharing your birthday. It is a fundamental upgrade for our privacy and our security every single day. So when you put this all together, when you see how all these pieces fit, it really points towards a future that looks a whole lot different, a future that you are actually in control of. Look, with the launch of UIID version 1.2, this whole idea of digital sovereignty isn't some far-off futuristic dream anymore. It's not a promise for someday. Truly owning and controlling your online self has become a reality that you can use right here, right now. The tools are here.
And that really leaves us with just one final, powerful question. Your digital sovereignty has arrived. The power is in your hands. What are you going to do with it?